Hello everyone, this is K. Sadashiva. Welcome to my channel KLR Educators. Thank you all for the kind of support you have shown in developing my channel. I will give my best to cover entire syllabus of modern Indian history. Assure you, if you follow these videos, you don't have to refer any other material for modern Indian history. Make running notes which will be useful to you when you want to revise these topics in future. So let's start with our today's lecture. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the British conquest of Bengal, and today we are going to continue this British conquest, and we are discussing about Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. So now we are going to discuss about Battle of Plassey. So Battle of Plassey is known as a battle which was never fought. Why? Because the Britishers had backward channel talks with Mir Jafar, who was the chief of the army. Not only Mir Jafar, but other supporters of Nawab were also associated in this conspiracy. Means when the Britishers came to know that they will be not able to defeat Nawab of Bengal directly, they wanted to defeat him indirectly. How? By having backward channel talks with Mir Jafar and his associates who were supporting Nawab of Bengal. So Nawab of Bengal was not aware about this conspiracy and fought with British believing his army. So Nawab of Bengal didn't know about this conspiracy and blindly he trusted his supporters and he fought against the British. So on 23rd June 1757, forces of Nawab and the British clashed at Plassey. So this battle was never like a conventional battle as hardly few people died. Why few people died? Because already all the associates of Nawab of Bengal were against the Bengal because they had conspiracy with British, and that's the reason why they defeated Nawab of Bengal with help of the Britishers. Means here the associates of Nawab of Bengal will kill the Nawab of Bengal, not the Britishers. This is the reason why it was never a conventional battle. So it was known as a battle which was never fought. Mir Jafar was promised by the British that if he supports them in this conspiracy, he will be appointed as Nawab of Bengal. But Mir Jafar wasn't able to understand that he is going to be a puppet in the hands of the British. What Mir Jafar thought initially that when he supports the British in this conspiracy, he will be appointed as the new Nawab of Bengal. But what happened actually? He became a puppet in the hands of the British. So later when Mir Jafar realized, he started to oppose the British, and later the British removed him from the throne of Bengal. So this is the image of the Battle of Plassey which happened in the year 1757, and from this battle the Britishers were able to establish an empire in the Bengal. From Bengal they were able to capture the entire India by defeating the Mysore, after the Marathas and also the Sikhs. Outcomes of the war. What happened after this Battle of Plassey? What were the outcomes of this war? Some of the rights were given to the British in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Now they were given rights to collect the taxes in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Jamindari rights for 24 Parganas district was given by the Nawab to the British near Calcutta, from which they can earn 15,000 euros. Now the 24 Parganas district in West Bengal will be under the control of British, and they can impose the taxes on the agricultural land that is present in this district. British levied war grant of rupees 2 crore for the Battle of Plassey against Nawab of Bengal. Now the Britishers imposed war grant of rupees 2 crores for Battle of Plassey against Nawab of Bengal. Now they imposed a war grant. They asked the Nawab to pay 2 crores as a compensation for fighting against this Nawab of Bengal. So Mir Jafar came to know that he has become a puppet, and after that when he opposed the British, his son-in-law Mir Qasim was made Nawab of Bengal on 22nd Feb 1960 AD. So when Mir Jafar came to know he became a puppet, so he started opposing the British. So what the British did? They removed Mir Jafar and they appointed his son-in-law Mir Qasim as Nawab of Bengal on 22nd Feb 1960. Now the Britishers can collect the taxes on the agricultural land that was allocated to them by the Nawab of Bengal as return gift for supporting him in the Battle of Plassey. So now the Britishers can collect taxes on the agriculture land that was allocated to them by Nawab of Bengal, that is the 24 Parganas district, as return gift for supporting him in the Battle of Plassey. Battle of Buxar. So what were the events that happened in the Battle of Buxar? So Mir Jafar was removed from the throne of Bengal and the British appointed Mir Qasim as Nawab of Bengal. But Mir Qasim was more arrogant and independent minded than Mir Jafar. Thus the British were unsatisfied with him and so they removed him from the throne of Bengal and reappointed Mir Jafar as a Nawab of Bengal. So what initially Britishers did? When Mir Jafar opposed the British, they removed him from the throne of Bengal and later they appointed Mir Qasim as Nawab of Bengal. But what happened? Mir Qasim was more arrogant and independent minded than Mir Jafar. So Mir Qasim opposed the British rule in Bengal. Thus the British were unsatisfied with him and so they removed him from the Battle of Bengal and reappointed Mir Jafar as a Nawab of Bengal. But Mir Qasim opposed this decision of the British and decided to fight against them. But Mir Qasim was more arrogant. That's the reason why he opposed this decision of the British and he finally decided to fight against the British. So he went to the Awadh king Shuja-ud-Dawla for the help to fight against the British. So what he did? He went to the Awadh king Shuja-ud-Dawla for help to fight against the British. So on 22nd November 1964, the Battle of Buxar took place and the British successfully defeated Shuja-ud-Dawla and Mir Qasim. Even after getting support from Shuja-ud-Dawla, Mir Qasim wasn't able to defeat these British. That's the reason why on 22nd November 1964, in the Battle of Buxar, the Britishers successfully defeated Shuja-ud-Dawla and Mir Qasim. After this Treaty of Allahabad was signed between the British and Shuja-ud-Dawla under the Mughal king Shah Alam. So as you know, the procedure of this British, after the war they will sign a treaty. So again a treaty was signed between British, Shuja-ud-Dawla and Mir Qasim under the Mughal king Shah Alam. So what is the treaty? The Treaty of Allahabad that was signed after Battle of Buxar. So this is the image of Battle of Buxar in which the Britishers successfully defeated Shuja-ud-Dawla and Mir Qasim. So finally, after the defeat of Mir Qasim and Shuja-ud-Dawla in the hands of the Britishers completely occupied the Bengal and they established this British Empire in Bengal. So finally they established the British Empire in Bengal. This is the image that is showing that they are hoisting this British flag in Bengal. So outcomes of the war. So what was the outcome of this Battle of Buxar? Now the Britishers got Diwani rights, means the right to collect the land revenue from complete Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Earlier they were confined to 24 Parganas district, but now they can completely collect the tax from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Robert Clive, after this Treaty of Allahabad, introduced a unique system called dual system of government. Under this, a special post known as Deputy Nawab was created and one of the British officials will hold this position. So what Robert Clive did after this Treaty of Allahabad, he introduced a unique system called dual system of government, in which he will be having Nawab as well as Deputy Nawab. So Nawab, he was appointed by the Robert Clive and Deputy Nawab was from the British officials. So what this Deputy Nawab will do? He will be the supreme ruler of this Bengal. So here you can see now the Bengal has a unique system called dual system of government, in which it will have Nawab and Deputy Nawab. But who is supreme? Deputy Nawab is supreme but not the Nawab. And this Deputy Nawab cannot be removed by Nawab because Deputy Nawab is appointed by the British. So Nawab didn't have powers to remove Deputy Nawab. So now the East India Company collected revenue but not responsible for administration as it was done by the Nawab. You have to remember that East India Company was collecting the revenue from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, but they were not responsible for the administration as it was done by Nawab. So neither the Nawab nor the East India Company cared about the welfare of the people, and because of this, people in this region suffered a lot. Nawab didn't had enough money to look after the administration of this Bengal, and East India Company were collecting the revenues and they were not giving any kind of money to this Nawab for the administration purpose. That is the reason why the Nawab was helpless, and neither the Nawab nor the East India Company cared about the welfare of the people. And because of this, the people in this region suffered a lot during this period. So in the year 1769 to 1773, there was Great Bengal Famine, one of the biggest famines took place, and nearly 10 million people died during this period. See, when there was Great Bengal Famine in 1769 to 1773, 10 million people died because no one were there to take care of these people, neither the Nawab nor the East India Company. That is the reason why the people were the major sufferers during this period. With this, we have finished our today's lecture. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel, and send these videos to your friends who are preparing for many competitive examinations. Please don't forget to make a running notes which will be useful for you for your future reference. So thank you one and all. Jai Hind.